Well, g'day friends of the garage, welcome back to the No Talk Motorsport Workshop. Real quick one today, whilst we've still got the leg, we're just doing a couple of small things to keep ourselves occupied more than anything and give the workshop a little bit of a tidy up. Now today, real quick one, easy one, we've got these wheel dollies like most of us have got. They really take up a whole heap of space in the workshop when you haven't got some way to properly store them. So I know you can buy proper storage racks for these things, but I figured that I've got a little bit of scrap steel floating around. Let's see if we can build one. First thing we're doing, we've got a straight piece of RHS cut to 45-degree miters out of the points there, fold them back, going to make just a very basic U shape. And now that those 45-degree cuts are made, we fold it up beautifully into a nice 90-degree. Let's get out the welder and tack that into place. Right, so around about now is when you feel like an absolute dillbilly, because you realise, or you've just remembered, that there are certain things in the workshop you can't do with a broken leg. And the next stage in this process is going to be one of those things, and what we've referred to specifically is that we need to do some welding. Now, where is the welder? Well, if you look up there on that shelf, there's the welder up there. But what's between me and the welder is Morticia, the track car. And I can't get down the side of Morticia. So, like a scene out of the castle, to move Morticia, I've got to shift the wombat, which means I've got to get the daughter's Hyundai out of the way. And the fun thing about all of that is they're all manual, and I've broken my left leg, which means I can't push a clutch. Just lucky I've got somebody coming over a bit later on in the day that'll be able to move some of this for me and get my welder out. Anyway, so what we're going to do in the meantime is cut all of the pieces we need in preparation for welding it together. Right, so the theory is that to store these guys neatly, we stack them vertically like this, side by side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they just take up quite a lot less space than what they do when they're lying on their wheels flat on the ground. So, with it stacked like this, down the bottom end, you take out that retainer pin, so a safety pin, and that piece of steel, which is the same as the piece up here, so if you have a look, ID on that is about 40 by 40. So ideally a piece of 40 by 40 RHS welded to this base unit would be probably where we would want to go, but we don't have any 40 by 40 RHS in the workshop at the moment, but we do have a good amount of this 40 by 40 angle, which, as far as I'm concerned, will do just as good a job. Now, the quick and easy way of doing things would be just to get the angle like such, cut the length, and weld it straight to that base unit. But we're going to do things a little bit differently. A, because we've got the time and we're a bit bored, so we're going to play, and B, because we want a little bit of extra strength in that bottom weld there, we're going to actually cut a few sections here and semi-integrate that into the base. So let's get out the grinder, let's start cutting. So we've chopped and channeled some bits of steel. That's how it's all going to position, so that the dollies have got something to load onto. Now all we need is the assistant to come back to the workshop, move some cars around, get out the welder and put it all together. Well, my helper's come home, moved the car, got the welder out, and we've welded up some joints, welded up some pegs, and what's more, they sit in the right spot. So far, that's a win. Let's get out some paint, put them in some colour so they don't rust, then all we need to wait for is the casters. Righto, so the completed frame works beautifully, holds them all in place. Now we just need some casters. Well, would you look at that? We've had... Oh, we've almost broken it. We've had a box arrive, and in the box is some casters and some bolts. Let's finish off this frame. So we drilled some holes, we mounted some casters, and the first time round we cocked it up, didn't we? Because we mounted the caster here and didn't allow for the physics of the fact that this meant all the weight which was on here was behind the centre line, or outside the centre line of this axle. So the centre line of the axle was about here. All the weight out here meant the whole thing just went, ah! Not good. So we took two, we modified our design a little bit, welded a few extra brackets on, we've drilled up our holes, put the casters there, and as you can see the centre line of these axles now is outside the centre of the weight. So the weight should hold itself nice and flat. Now there's a trial fitment. Weight is all holding beautifully, very stable. Let's pull it apart, paint it, and that's a job done. And there it is, working order, coat of paint, everything's done, ready to go in under the racking. So there endeth today's waste of time exercise, really. All I was doing was just filling in some time because I got nothing better to do. So, you know, you're probably not watching. It doesn't matter. But if you are there, we'll be back on cars again one day soon when the leg gets better. See ya.